I'd like to welcome you to our 50th reunion of the Mesa First Ward party tonight, a celebration that we've made jointly with Second Ward and others who have been involved. We have a number of things planned for tonight. As you have noticed coming in, there's a table back in the back to sign in and put a name tag on so people won't be asking who you are all night, and they can remember your name and then the face if it's been too long. There's also a sign up for pictures, a ward picture from La Mesa Second and from La Mesa First that are available for those who would like them, if you'd like to sign up for that. Also, Brother Bob Harris from Second Ward is making a video right now of all of us, and anyone who would like to sign up for those can also do it on a table back there. We would like to begin having a prayer. Bishop Bergeson will offer that, and then we have some refreshments in the multi-purpose room for all of you to go get and bring back in here. You're welcome to sit at the tables or sit back where you are for the program. After a little while longer, we'll begin the program, so you have a chance to talk and meet one another and eat a little bit, and then we'll start that. Bishop Bergeson, would you come forward now? Oh, also Carol asked me to explain that we're decorated patriotically because the ward began in 1942 during war years, and so it's kind of the theme for the night.
Presenting in person that 5 foot 4 bundle of dynamite, the Dynamite. Wow. Speaking of explosives, it's 1942, and history is being made. The war escalates. Franklin D. Roosevelt is president of the U.S. The College Ward is organized. Terrence Heaton is called as first bishop. Muriel and Dave Price are married. George Albert Smith is president of the LDS Church. And the popular songs are Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree with Anyone Else But Me and Abba Dabba Honeymoon.
Dance with the monkey to the chip. All day long they're shouting away. All day long they're happy and gay, singing and singing in a honky-tonky way. Dabba 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 means look, I love that you. Dabba 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 in monkey tongue means chip, I love you too. In a big bad moon one night in June, he married them, and very soon they went upon their abba dabba honeymoon. Chippy to the monk, dance with the monkey to the chip. All night long they chat away, all day long they're happy and gay, singing and singing in their honky-tonky way. Dancing monk, I love but you. In monkey talk means chip, I love you too. To the big bad moon, one night in June, he married them, and very soon they went upon their abba-dabba honeymoon.
And I thought the words to today's songs were crazy. Abba Dabba Honeymoon. But you know, I love those songs. 1940. Oh. The La Mesa Ward is the oldest ward in the San Diego East Stake. It grew from a branch which had been organized in 1940. The following men served as branch presidents consecutively: Hugh Foster, Ralph Stobbs, and our own Frank Borneman, who still resides in our ward. 1942. On March 8, 1942, the College Ward was organized. The area started at Euclid Avenue in San Diego and extended eastward to the territories of Pine Valley, Lemon Grove, and Spring Valley. The first bishop of the College Ward was Terrence Heaton, and the second bishop was Paul Hildebrand. This new College Ward met at the IOOF Lodge Hall in La Mesa Boulevard. They met in a little room located directly over Pete's Bar. Now, Pete's Bar was a couple of doors down from where Logan's Bakery was located. It's been remembered that when they would meet on Sunday morning, they had to endure the overpowering fumes resulting from the activities of the previous night at Pete's Bar below. Even then, the ward had a choir. When they sang, that left 6 people in the congregation. Pat Newen-Swander will now entertain us with some of her thoughts of those days.
Think I need it? Yes. I was very young in those days. In fact, I'd like you to believe I was even younger than I was. But I do remember meeting, and it was a fairly big hall. It was probably as big as this room, but they had these great big wooden chairs, old-fashioned high-back chairs, and most of the kids were really very uncomfortable sitting in them. I remember going to Sunday school class, and they'd pull the curtains. They divided the rooms with these curtains, and if you didn't like the lesson you were getting, you could always listen to the one next to you. Carol asked me what I remembered much, or the most, about the location, and I think it was after Sunday school, we'd usually walk home. There'd be 4 or 5 of us, I guess, that would walk home together. But we always had to stop off down at Pete's and look at the latest magazines. Confidential, Police Gazette, crime stories, all the interesting things that nobody ever let us look at home. And that's mainly what I remember about the old building.
1947. In February, the name was officially changed from College Ward to the La Mesa Ward. Bishop Hildebrand, who had served as bishop through all those changes, were released. The first missionaries called from the ward were Omar Kemp and Jack Campbell. The second bishop of the La Mesa Ward was Joe C. Price, brother of David Price. The congregation was growing so fast, the war was over and people were coming home from the war, so the College Ward moved from the room above Pete's bar, not unhappily, I presume, and took residence in the Fairmont Ward building on Marlboro in East San Diego. 1949. Bishop Wesley H. Evans was called to the third bishop of the La Mesa Ward. Bishop Evans was the husband of our dear Sister Chris Evans. He chose as his first counselor Brother David Price. Dell Oliver is here to share a memory with us.
I probably haven't got a lot to say about because of the memory, but but one of the things I remember when I first moved out into La Mesa, of course there wasn't anything but sagebrush out here, and I think we were the second house on that side of El Cajon Boulevard. But they were in a process of building the ward at that time. And I remember going to Los Angeles to pick up doors for the building. And I never had a clue about doors then. And they were solid mahogany doors. And they were all the same size. I think, were they 4 feet? It seemed like they were 4 feet wide and they were 30. But it took about 4 men to pick one up, and we had to make 2 trips because of the size of the truck we had to Los Angeles to get the doors. And then another thing that I remember very well is that we were accumulating a lot of kids about that time, and we had these wonderful dime-a-dip dinners. You don't know what a lifesaver that was. We never missed a dinner, and the kids always wanted to go. There was no argument about them coming to the dime-a-dip dinners. The kids had lots of fun, and they got a lot of different things to eat. It was pretty much the same thing at our place. You know, you have whole wheat bread, and you have cracked whole wheat, and you have whole wheat mush, and so that was a real treat for our family. And I just want to say one more thing while I'm up here, that what I remember the most is how wonderful the people were. I don't know if you know it, but that was my first time that I come to church in 12 years was in this La Mesa Ward. And I'm telling you, the people in 1948 have just gotten better. And they were wonderful then, and they're close to the celestial kingdom right now. I want you to know that I love all of you and appreciate all of you for all these 50 years for being the kind of people you are.
Thank you, Bill. Plans were being made for the construction of the new La Mesa Chapel on Lemon Avenue. At that time, things were somewhat different than they are now. A member, Brother Sam Campbell, who was in construction and a member of the ward, was called as his church calling to build the church. Wow, what a calling. There were no hired workers, but everyone in the ward was called to help build the church and drive to LA to get the doors. They did this by work parties, support, and lots of LSAP, love, sweat, and prayers. The ladies of the ward would prepare and take meals to the workers. I wonder if that was the beginning of the famous casserole. Well, everyone knows that Mormons are well known for being industrious, resourceful, giving, and for going the extra mile. In other words, they're just plain busy bodies. Oh. They can't stand being idle.
When someone calls and sweetly asks me, you can fish, I want to say no, 'cause it's not my dish. But then I think of other gals who gotta go instead. I groan and say, okay, though I'd rather stay in bed. I can the tuna fish. I can the tuna fish. You scrape at the belly and you rub at the back. Can the tuna fish. The conversation at the table's very stimulating. We talk about our children and anybody's dating. The hours may pass slowly, but the talk it never lags. The bishop, he suggests that the women wear a gag. Can the tuna fish. I can the tuna fish. You scrape at the belly and you rub at the back. Can the tuna fish. Oh, hours may go by before you stop for a drink. Looking at the clock, it is later than you think. Taking off our aprons, we rush to the sink. We want to wash our hands because they smell like tuna fish. Can the tuna fish. I can the tuna fish. You scrape at the belly and you rub at the back. Can the tuna fish. When working at the welfare, remember our advice. The good make me post, and the odor's never nice. Just do your duty cheerfully. You never make you're sure. You may be eating tuna if you get poor. Can the tuna fish. I can the tuna fish. You scrape at the belly and you rub at the back. I can the tuna fish.
Thank you, ladies of the Second Ward. My family moved here from Utah in 1952, and I was from a little teeny town, and I was in shock when we hit the big city. And it wasn't until I learned what wonderful people we had in California. I learned that when we went to the Mesa Ward. Instantly, this difficult move turned into something very pleasurable and a wonderful thing for me. And I personally want to thank all of you for those special, special days in 1952 and 53. I guess we could say LDS people are some people.
Some people can get a thrill knitting sweaters and sitting still. That's okay for some people who don't know better alive. Some people can get a thrill living life in their living room. That's perfect for some people of 105. But those people aren't us.
1950. On May 13th, the first meeting was held in the Cultural Hall of the Lebanon Avenue building. Why the Cultural Hall? Because the chapel wasn't done yet. Sister Evans recalls that it was dreadfully cold that day in the hall. There was not a speck of heat because no heater had been installed yet. But they were happy just to be in that cold, unfinished building. After all, it was their new building. Later, of course, a heater was installed. I wonder if any of you remember that. I remember it.
We met at church.
It was on a walk.
We met at church. I gave a talk. Yes. I remember it well. It started at 12.
Started at 8.
I was on time.
You were late.
Yes. I remember it well.
I was a fashion plate.
Well, all the boys liked me.
Yes, they did.
And yes, you were. It warms my heart to know that you remember still the way I do.
Oh, yes.
I remember it well. How often I've thought of that little church that we loved.
It was on Lemon Avenue.
No, I think it was Marlboro. And somehow, I've oftentimes wondered if you might
Be thinking of it too?
It seemed oft times when we'd walk home.
You'd lose a glove.
I think it was a comb.
Ah, yes. I remember it well.
Well.
Do you recall those Great Ward plays?
Oh, Oh, the ones where I got such great raves.
Actually, no, I don't remember that at all.
I wore a gown of gold.
Seems like it was blue.
Are we getting old?
Not me.
Not you. How young we were in bygone days.
And we had fun in every way.
Ah, yes.
We remember it well.
Before the completion of the Lemon Avenue Chapel, the ward was having a Saturday night session of ward conference. A terrible electric storm hit, and all the electricity went out. What did they do? Well, the members went out into the neighborhood, door to door, and asked for candles. That night, they had conference by candlelight. All this togetherness made the members very close to each other, and a great camaraderie existed in the La Mesa Ward. Carol Beachley will tell us about that.
I don't know who told me this story, but I will never forget it. An older man came to play the violin as part of the musical presentation. He told the bishop that he had to leave early and if he would please excuse him as soon as he finished playing. And the bishop said that would be fine. So he played his violin, he turned around, and he walked into the sacrament closet. Everyone in the building watched the sacrament closet, waiting for him to come out. But I guess he was so embarrassed, because it wasn't an exit, he stayed in there for the entire meeting and waited for the entire hall to clear before he finally came out and went home. I'll never forget that story. And I'll never forget the Lemon Avenue building. When I returned home from my mission, my parents were living in that building. I brought Pat to church in that building, and you should have seen all the heads watch us as he came into the building, poking each other and saying, maybe this is the one. We were married in that building by Bishop Bergeson, and then a year later we blessed our first baby in that building, and so we have very fond memories. In fact, we bought a house 3 blocks from that building in hopes that we could walk to church every morning, but that doesn't happen now, does it?
Thank you, Carol. 1952. The La Mesa Ward was divided. The El Cajon Ward was organized and stayed in the building as a separate ward until their church was finished. 1953. The La Mesa Ward building was dedicated by Elder LeGrand Richards of the Council of the 12 on April 26, 1953. Every ward has its share of babies and young people, and in those early days of La Mesa Ward, they certainly had their share. We love the young people. They add the excitement and the energy that every ward needs. We learned that our very own Veston Thomas was 3 years old when Sister Chris Evans was the Relief Society president. The word is that he by himself displayed the excitement and energy of at least 2 whole classes. Let's welcome John Price, who will share his memories with us.
I have 3 short memories. My first memory is that our building was on the corner of Jackson and Lemon. They moved the building. I don't know how they did that, but I knew it was on Jackson. We would get out of school at Lemon Avenue and walk across the street after school waiting for primary to begin. And of course, primary didn't start for an hour or an hour and a half until after school was out. So we had to find a way into the building. And we knew that there was always one window never latched correctly. It was never the same window. Sometime it would be the men's room. Periodically it'd be the bishop's office. Sometimes it'd be the women's room. But we always found a window, and sometimes we'd have to jar it a little bit. It'd come undone. We'd hop in, go out the door, into the patio, down the hall, open the door. The primary presidency would show up and say, "Why wasn't the building locked?" Week after week after week. Then as we got closer to 12 years old, we got a little bit more daring, and if they locked the building real well, we'd climb up the water spouts, go over the roof and down into the patio, and then out to the door and open it up. Turning 12, I got to pass the sacrament, and in that old building, you sat not only in front of the bishopric, but you faced the audience for the whole meeting. And being 12, we really got caught up into those meetings. But I do remember Sister Nielsen because she always conducted the singing, and if you were the lead boy and you talked, you got it on the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Then I moved on to seminary, and we had seminary in the scout room. Now, the scout room was a small, musty hole in the wall. And even though you were never tall, you always hit your head going down the stairs because the room was built under the stage. And I remember at one end, if it rained, it always flooded. There was always 3 inches of water there. And at one end there was an exit door, and at the other end there was a big chalkboard, and then they had 2 trophies, a buck and a doe deer. Love those things. After seminary one morning, we talked my cousin Tom into wrapping that hood ornament onto the front of his '52 Chevy. And we went to Helix, and you turn up Lowell, and there's more and more people looking, and Tom was getting a little bit more nervous, and he said, "Now you guys, don't chicken out," and that was the clue. We all ducked. Those are my memories of the old La Mesa building.
Thank you, John. Just as then, our ward today has a wonderful group of young people who are active and willing. Tonight they're going to perform a dance from the Summer Roadshow. We're very proud of them. They were awarded the best concept in theme, and the theme was When Books Come Alive. We also received an award for the best actress for Sarah Price, the best music, and the best script. And here they are.
Just think
Thank you, that was great. In 1954, Brother Richard Hartman was called as Bishop Evans' first counselor. Our thoughts are with Brother Hartman and his wife, Violet, this night. 1958. On April 20th, the San Diego East Stake was organized. Cecil Birmingham. Oh, I love Brother Birmingham. Cecil Birmingham was called as stake president. Dave Price and Clifford Wallace were called as counselors. And now, Wayne and Julie Collins will share their memories with us, and then Wayne Collins will sing.
I have a lot of good memories of the old building over there on Lemon Avenue, but one in particular was before my wife joined the church. And as most of you know, that Julie was Catholic and I was Mormon, and our kids were half Mormon and half Catholic. As a matter of fact, David would sometimes say, "In the name of the Father and the Son and Joseph Smith." One beautiful Sunday, I'd taken the kids to Sunday school, and I said, "Let's just walk home." And we left the old Lemon Avenue building and walked down towards Bancroft, and it seemed like every other car was LDS, and they all stopped to ask us if we'd like a ride home. And I kept saying, "No, we just feel like walking." And so we continued to walk, and we was walking down Bancroft, and cars kept stopping and see if we wanted to ride. And Deanna says, "Dad, I know the Mormon church is true." And I says, "Well, how do you know that?" And she says, "Well, when we come home from catechism, we don't get asked one time for a ride." So that was Deanna's testimony.
Oh, gosh. One of the things that I remember, and I'm sure that there are quite a few that are here that would remember this as well, and perhaps even better. One time there was a ward activity, and for the activity we drove up to Big Bear, and we must have spent a couple of days there. I don't remember. But anyways, we went to a place, and I think it was called Scotty's. And all of us had our own little cabin. We had signed up for this in advance. And I remember on the way up, we caravanned, all of the families that went caravanned. And I remember looking ahead, and all these cars, there must have been about 12 or maybe 15 cars. They were all station wagons. And all of them were full of these little faces looking out on this way up to this activity. So anyways, when we got up there, I remember Jackie Jangard was very, very fussy. And she was in this cabin that had all of these spiders and all these things with legs, and they were crawling around. So anyways, she didn't want to sleep there. So anyways, Wayne said, "Well, why don't you let me come and spray? I've got some stuff, and I'll spray it, and then we'll see what happens." So anyways, he went in there and sprayed. And consequently, all of the bugs fell out of wherever they were at and fell on everything. And there were dead bugs laying everywhere. Then she wouldn't have anything to do with the place. But anyways, another thing that I remembered, and this was one of the first times that I came to church. Darren was about 4 years old, and he had to give a talk. And for the little people, they had this little three-legged stool that sat by the microphone, and they just put it there for the little kids. And so he was standing there, and he didn't feel that he was tall enough, so he went up on his tiptoes. And when he did, the stool just tipped over, and down he went. And I was sitting there going, "Oh my gosh," and everybody went like that, and he just disappeared. And so anyways, everybody is looking like that to see what's going to happen. Pretty quick. From the top of the podium comes this little hand up like that, and he grabbed the mic, and pretty quick the other one grabbed, and he pulled himself up like that, and he said, and went on and finished his talk and never missed one word. And I remember that, I think this was just before Christmas, and I remember Marion Bench said, if that little guy can take that spill and get up, dust himself off, and go on, then that is a good example to all of us. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you.
It's now or never, come hold me tight, kiss me my darling, be mine tonight. Tomorrow will be too late, it's now or never, my love will wait. When I first met you, with my arms around you, my heart would rapture, my soul surround you. I built a lifetime, thinking all the right time. Now that you're here, the time is here at last. It's now or never, come hold me tight, kiss me my darling, be mine tonight. Tomorrow will be too late, it's now or never, my love will wait. When I first met you, with my arms around you, my heart would rapture, my soul surround you. I built a lifetime, thinking all the right time. Now that you're near, my love is here at last. It's now or never, come hold me tight, kiss me my darling, be mine tonight. Tomorrow will be too late, it's now or never, my love will wait. It's now or never, my love won't wait. It's now or never, my love won't wait. It's now or never, my love won't wait. Thank you.
Thank you, Julian Wayne. In August of 1958, Bishop Evans and Brother Hartman were released after serving nearly 10 years. 1962. In March, the La Mesa Ward was divided again. At this time, the La Mesa Second Ward was organized. Division is always hard. You become separated from your dear friends. But it is a glorious time to see the growth of the church in action. I was in the La Mesa Ward as a teenager until the Rolando area was annexed to the city of San Diego, and at that time I had to leave the ward. That was a very difficult leave-taking for me. And now, here is the La Mesa Second Ward music presentation.
I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. I'd like to see the world for once all standing hand in hand. And hear them echo through the hills or peace throughout the land. I think we had the music all set before we started, but there's been a lot of people on that stage, I guess. Anyway, we, the La Mesa Second Ward Relief Society Kitchenaires, with the help of Nilo Atkinson, have been sharing our time and talents with the local convalescent homes and retirement homes. And tonight we hope to revive a few memories with you through some excerpts from the program we did for them. We did about a 45-minute program for them, and we're going to do a 15-minute program for you. Before we start, I would like those on the stage who were in the original La Mesa Ward to please stand. I'll call their names and ask them to stand. Nilo Atkinson, Irene Oliver, Beverly Street, Betty Atkinson, Marilyn Butts Ketteringham, Gretchen Cohagen, and yours truly, Kathleen Lund. And then three of our young ladies on the stage married some original members of the La Mesa Ward, and they are Denise Faulkner, Melody Rush, and Leah Thibodeau. We're concentrating on the 40s right now, aren't we? And when we think about the 40s, we think of swing dancing to the big bands. It seems fitting to start our program with a trip down memory lane with our singers and Nilo and Betty Atkinson with a favorite song from World War II, Sentimental Journey. Many of you here will remember my sister Nancy Hedman. You do, don't you, Chris? And a lot of you here. And she taught me all I know about how to put a kitchen band together. And so now we'd like to play a special kitchen band arrangement for you. And we're going to play a song featured by Perry Como entitled Dreamer's Holiday. are they a great bunch of gals and guy. Now you may remember a popular movie back in the 40s entitled Meet Me in St. Louis, featuring Judy Garland. And one of the most memorable songs from that particular movie was the trolley song. A group of our ladies now, accompanied by the kitchen band, will sing that song for you. Close the mic. No one could forget Bing Crosby, the popular crooner of the 40s. And one of his most delightful movies was Waikiki Wedding. And Melody Rush, who spent 4 years as a youth in Hawaii and has zigzagged over the last few years between La Mesa First and La Mesa Second, is now going to favor us with her rendition of Sweet Lalani.
Carol Beachley called and asked if I had any pictures or special memories of the Mesa Ward, I found myself rummaging through boxes and scrapbooks. And because of my great music and interest in music and drama, I was often involved in producing programs of one sort or another. I remember with pleasure a Christmas production of A King is Given. It was my first stint as choir director, but with the help of Wes Evans and Guy Rose and many others who loved to sing, we pulled it off. One of the most satisfying experiences I ever had as a drama director was the Relief Society play, When Shakespeare's Ladies Meet. I remember Wilda Fowles as the beautiful and wise Portia, Clara Sorensen as fiery Catherine the Shrew, Helen Benson as willowy Desdemona, Dionne Butler as glamorous Cleopatra, Artella Hunter as lovely Juliet, and Mildred Bergeson as a slightly daffy Ophelia. I remember a play called Pink and Patches starring a vivacious little redhead, Bonnie Boucher. And I came across the program for an MIA melodrama entitled Left at the Church on Her Wedding Morn, or More to be Pitied Than Scorned, featuring Dottie Maynard as the heroine, Bowery Liz, and Doc Tippett as the hero, Excelsior Colfax. The olio following the play included many song and dance numbers in which many of you here tonight, including Marilyn Butts Ketteringham on the stage, appeared. There were too many of you to mention, but I brought the program. Well, no, I didn't bring it. I was going to bring it, but anyway, the program was prepared by Dick and Viola Hartman, and they included many songs similar to the ones we're going to do for you now. We're going to start out with Yankee Doodle Dandy, featuring Nilo Atkinson. He will be joined by ladies from the band for Harrigan and the Charleston.
I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy, a Yankee Doodle do or die, a real live nephew of my Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July. I've got a Yankee Doodle sweetheart, she's my Yankee Doodle joy. A Yankee Doodle went to London just to ride the pony. I am that Yankee Doodle boy. Who is the man who will spend and will even lend? Harrigan, that's me. Who is your friend when you find that you need a friend? Harrigan, that's me. For I'm just as proud of my name, you see, as an emperor's or a king could be. Who is a man helps a man every time he can? Harrigan, that's me. H-A-R-I-G-A-N spells Harrigan. Proud of all the Irish blood that's in me. Nary a man can say a word again me. H-A-R-R-I-G-A-N, you see. It's a name that a shame never can be connected with. Harrigan, that's me.
It's been a real pleasure to spend a few minutes with you tonight. And with your permission, the Kitchenaires would like to sing one final song for you, Sweet Georgia Brown. It's been setting rocks there when she passes down. Since she ain't one, it's a shame how she moves around. Feller, she can't dance, feller, she ain't dance. Georgia names her, Georgia names her, sweet Georgia Brown, yeah. That concludes our program. I would like to say that we always had a piano player. Our piano player was a girl who's a member of the Catholic Church. I've invited her to hear the missionaries, and she's considering it. It's been a wonderful experience to work with her, and she couldn't be here tonight because her husband's very ill. So I want to thank Denise Faulkner for handling the tape player for us. It really is appreciated, Denise. And I want to have all of them stand and take a bow. Would you please do that?
(1970). Brother Arnold Bergeson was called as bishop. Dave Price and Richard Logan were his counselors. 1973. Once again, the congregation was growing so large, and parking was a problem on Lemon Avenue. The cat in the hat did it. Parking was a problem on Lemon Avenue. Great excitement was being generated as plans were beginning to take shape to construct a new building on Aztec Drive. On July 1st, the last meeting of the Mesa Ward was held in the Lemon Avenue building. Feelings were running rampant at that time. Everyone was really sad. Many wonderful memories will be cherished forever by all the members who had their beginnings in that little room over Pete's Bar. Now the ward moved to the El Cajon Steak Center on Orange Avenue. They met in that building for 2 years while the new building was being built. And now Gene Lund, Evan Madsen, and Gary McGoffin will make a deposit to our memory bank.
I'm sure you remember these three guys. For years, I mean years from about 1960 till when? 70 something? No, it's not.
We're still together.
Still contagious.
I can remember going to the Sierras for 25 years with taking the boys in the Mesa Ward.
In 1960, when our ward was just young, they asked me to take over the Explorers, or part of the Mutual, which was kind of busted up or haven't been reorganized from the two wards yet. And I needed some help. And Gary, I'm sure, had just been baptized in the church.
It was before 1960, and this This ward is very dear to me and to our family because I was very young at that time. This was the ward that we were baptized into. And my first memory was the first calling, being a new convert to the church, scared to death, to be the assistant explorer advisor under Gene Lund.
Shortly after that, and we needed some more help. And I went to the bishop and I said, give me the names of the fellows who are inactive. And Evan's name was kind of, and I said, well, why can't he help us? And Evan came aboard, and for years, I don't know how many years, the three of us worked in the MIA. Gary was a superintendent for a while, and I was superintendent. Were you ever superintendent?
No, but I was the secretary.
He was secretary for a long time, and guess where he spent the time during Mutual? He spent it in the exploring department. So he got a lot of basic ideas there. And after this program is all over, I got 4,757 slides in room 2 and 4. If any of you want to see any of your pictures, Bill, who are the other, some of the guys that were here?
John's been there.
Yeah.
John?
Veston, yeah, Veston was there. Well, anybody, all of you guys who were from 14 to 18 at that time know about the Sierras. Another thing, these three fellows here that you're looking at served on the Sierra Trek staff of the San Diego County Council for about 10 years. We helped write the book on the Sierras for the council. And we were really proud of that. And one year we got accused of holding up the Sierra Trek because no one would want to go. And we went out and I think we made something like 52 lectures in 1 year to get the Sierra Trek back on its feet. And we really had a good time, and we accomplished a lot of things. We trained a lot of men.
One of the things that we did do on that I'm kind of proud of is that in the San Diego County Council, we set up the first all LDS trek, where the whole group that went to the Sierras for a particular week were all LDS, and that was really great.
Evan?
One of the things that I'd like to mention is that through the training that we did for our boys, that now these boys have grown up to the adult stage and they're taking treks on their own, taking other boys. So it's a real encouraging and memorable time that we've had in getting the boys up to the Sierras. I just wish I could go again.
Yeah. Me too. I was offered to go once. Bill Polson, one of our former explorers who was a bishop, invited me up one time to go up in horseback. And I said, sure. But just about that time, I had my bad knee act up on me, and I had to refuse. But now I take an airplane and go fishing or take a car. But you can see what we've done. You can see the bishops that are around, some of the members of the state presidency, all up and down California, all around the country, are former explorers, and I'm sure we can see the blessings we've had from that.
We shouldn't forget Nilo Atkinson, because he went with us on one of the trips with us. We had some great singing, did a lot of song.
Yeah, Nilo has always been the singing trumpeter, troubadour on our trips. And I'm sure all of you who were in our ward at that time knew of the explorer trips that we've taken, and especially the year that we took the 3 boys from Japan who were our guests on the Yosemite Trek, and they couldn't speak English and we couldn't speak Japanese. But we really had a good time with them, and they had a good time with us too, I tell you.
Yeah.
But that's just about our memories, and we'll see you later in the other rooms.
The fishing was great.
Thank you. The Lemon Avenue building was sold to the Evangelical Bible Church. Many structural changes have taken place in the building since it was sold. Would everyone here tonight who attended church at the La Mesa building please stand and let's give ourselves a hand. Thank you. Construction was blazing away on the Aztec building. This time the members did not have the direct responsibility for the building. Because of the changes in policy at the time, contractors were hired to build that one, with members again displaying the characteristics for which they are so well known. 1975. The Aztec building was completed. The bishop at this time was Dave Price, and his counselors were Richard Logan and Robert Chambers. Sister Fournier is going to come and speak with us now.
When Carol called and asked if I would come and share some memories, it was hard to even imagine what memories to share. There's been so many wonderful ones, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to be in the La Mesa Ward, and I'm so grateful for you as an example. And I guess that's the biggest memory I have, is the example of you are to me. I was a semi-rebellious young woman when I first moved into to the ward, and because of the diligence of a bishop who came to visit me every single month, even though I didn't let him in, I became active. And my first visiting teachers were Sister Borneman and Sister Bergeson. And they were so sweet and so good to me, and they just loved me, and they were just examples to me. My first visiting teaching companion was Sister Pratt, and she taught me, literally taught me, how to be a visiting teacher. She showed me what love really was and what service really was to people. And I guess that's some of the most wonderful memories I have. One of the memories of this building being built, which I thought was, I can close my eyes and remember seeing this, was we were able to work in the yard and clean up and plant plants. And I remember my children following Bishop Price, and he was so tall and they were so little. And they were all carrying a hoe, and they were walking through the yard with this hoe. And I remember seeing that and thinking to myself, what better person for them to follow than Bishop Price? And each one of you have touched my life and my children's life, and you've done so much for me in example and in growth and in loving me and loving my family. And I'm grateful for that. And those are the best memories that I have, is the example and the love that has been given to me in all of these years.
Thank you, Cheryl. From 1973 to 1992, there have been 5 bishoprics in the La Mesa Ward. David Price with counselors Robert Chambers and Ronald Barquette. Robert Marriott as bishop with counselors Craig Pickles and Tim Canold. Robert Chambers as bishop with counselors Paul Davis, T.O. Polson. James Bench as bishop, counselors Veston Thomas and Frank Millward. Stephen Rush as bishop with counselors Ron Nielsen and Vaughn Woodfield. Would all the past bishops and counselors who are here tonight please stand and let us show our appreciation? Thank you, thank you, thank you for all your love and time. Would Arnold Bergeson come forward now?
I had not expected to be here tonight because I had an important business up in Utah, and then a death of a brother-in-law. I had to cancel a trip so I could be here tonight. And I walked in, and guess who met me and said, "You're on the program tonight." My brothers and sisters, we moved into this ward, I think it was 1956. We had come to San Diego in 1953 and looked around all over trying to find a place to live, and we always came back to La Mesa. We loved La Mesa. We liked the climate. So we bought a lot and built where we are now living. And at that time, Wes Evans was bishop, Richard Hartman the counselor, and Guy Rose the other counselor. We've thoroughly enjoyed this ward. It has been a delightful experience. We have met so many wonderful people and have seen it grow. I think we can be proud of the fact that this little teeny branch that started over a bar room was able to not succumb to the fumes and were able to continue to grow, to put all the time that they had to spend to build that nice building down on Lemon Avenue, and then from there to come over into this building. I was in on the original planning of this building, and the Bishop Price took it over and completed the work on it while he was bishop. So many people giving their time and efforts to this building. I love this ward, and I love the people in it and the people who have been in it. And I want you to know that I love all of you. We really have been blessed for being in this ward and for working in this ward, for all the great people that have been through this ward. Thank you.
Chris Evans, Hannah, and Frank Borneman have lived in the ward the longest time. They attended that first branch that was organized in 1940. That's a whopping 52 years. Yeah. Anita Weaver will now give us a tribute to Brother Borneman, and Dave Price will give a tribute to Chris Evans.
I was just going to get some more punch for you. My husband and I attended our first meeting in the Lemon Avenue building on Fast Sunday, January 1967. We had been building this house with our own little hands and moved into just a frame, and we have been working on that to this very day. But my first memory of coming to La Mesa Ward and my husband's is very, very vivid. We walked in, and I can remember 3 people from that first meeting. I have lots of friends now, remember, but I remember 3 people from that first meeting. The first person that greeted me was Muriel Price. She was the Relief Society president. And she just gave me just the warmest welcome. I learned to love her so much then, and I love her lots more now. The next person I remember greeting me was Brother Borneman. He grabbed my hand with a good, firm handshake, handed me a program, and says, "Welcome to Short Sister." And Brother Borneman has been doing this ever since. And when Vic and I moved away for a while up to Washington, I told him one Sunday as we went to church and there were no ushers at where we were, and I said, "You know, I really miss Brother Borneman." He said, "Yeah, I do too. We'd just love to hear 'Welcome to Short Sister.'" And I remember Brother Borneman would take you by the hand and lead you up front. He would put the young people with the older people, and he mixed them up, and he just really did that job with dignity. But before I go on any further with Brother Borneman, I have to tell you about the third person that I remember. He just sang to us, Wayne Collins. He bore his testimony that day, and he impressed me so much, and he's never ceased to impress me. I just whispered to his daughter a few minutes ago while he was singing, "Deanna, you're so lucky." And she says, "I know." She's got a wonderful mother and a wonderful father and husband and family all. But we're all so lucky to have been part of La Mesa Ward here. I'm just so happy to have been a part of it. But that first Sunday at the ward there, after we left, my husband turned to me and said, now he had only been a member of the church a short time, and we had only attended National City Ward, where there was a lot of Navy families and a lot of irreverence. I'm not blaming it on the Navy families, but it was just something about it that reverence hadn't been stressed. And everything was so reverent and so orderly, the way Brother Borneman led everybody down the aisle. And he said to me, "Are you sure that's a Mormon church?" And I says, "Well, it says so on the outside." He said, "Well, you just wait. Next Sunday it's going to be different." But you know, we've been going now for 25 years here, and it's still the same. It's the most reverent ward I've ever attended. And I can remember Bishop Peterson. I guess I attribute Bishop Peterson, who went on to be President Peterson, Phil Peterson, and Brother Borneman for the reverence in the ward, because Brother Borneman saw to it that you were led to your seat and mixed up the young and the old. And then Bishop Peterson, if anything ever got out of line, you could better believe we're going to have a talk in sacrament meeting about reverence. And there was one of his phrases that I have never, ever forgotten, and I have given several talks up in Washington on reverence, and I've always quoted him. And let me tell you what he said, and you'll probably remember. He would always tell the parents about their children having to get up and go outside all the time to the bathroom or get a drink of water or whatever. He would get very disturbed with that. And he would tell the parents, water them and potty them before you come to church. And the way he said it, you know, he could always tell you off and make you glad that he told you off. And that was one of the things I remember about him. Brother Borneman was such a dear fellow to me, and I've told him so several times. And I told him not too long ago, I said, "You know, Brother Borneman, I am just so sure that you're going to help usher in the millennium." And he looked at me and smiled sort of shyly, and he says, "Sister Weaver, I save you a seat on the front row." So that's why I stick close to Brother Borneman. I'm not leaving very far. I am very sad that he's not here tonight to hear all of us pay tribute to him and to the others. But I have had a plaque made up because I love him so much. And if there's anybody from his family here tonight, I'd like for them to take it to him. And if not, I will take it to him personally myself. But it says, "Distinguished Service Award presented to Frank E. Borneman, #1 usher for devoted service to the La Mesa Ward Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, October the 2nd, 1992. I love all of you. I love all of you and want you to know that you've been a big part of my testimony. And I want Gene Lunt to know that not only the Sierra treks were popular with the young people, those river trips, and I'm surprised that Evan didn't tell you about the 10 or 12 times that he went down the river and my husband Vic was right along there with him. And I want to pay tribute to Vic for being a Boy Scout leader. Even to this very day, they just track in and out of our house constantly from all over. Thank you.
I've had a lot of fun in this ward for the last umpteen years. I was the counselor to Bishop Evans when the old building was built, and I was the bishop when we sold it 25 years later. Mike needs to go up a little bit. Is that better? But we have with us tonight the unofficial ward historian, Chris Evans. Clarissa Evans, more commonly known as Chris, has kept a record of all of the callings and releases of bishoprics since the ward was first organized. She comes by that naturally. She was the Stake Relief Society secretary for some 14 years. Chris has lived in the same home in this ward for 49 years. During that time, she raised 3 children. She has 8 grandchildren and 11 great-grandchildren. 12, I'm sorry. You told me 11 last week. The other one was born Monday. And as you heard, her husband Wesley was the bishop of the ward for some 9.5 years. Now, there was something very interesting about him being bishop because he called as his financial clerk Chris Evans. Chris Evans served as the financial clerk of this ward for 6.5 years, probably the best one in the whole Southern California area. And it wasn't until they found out that Chris was a lady's name that they made Bishop Evans change it. Chris is still quite a gardener. She loves to get out and work in the yard. And we don't have any fancy plaques for her tonight, but we have a pair of gardening gloves for you, Chris. Chris is an excellent cook, especially desserts. And if you've never tasted her divinity candy, you've really missed a treat, because she makes the best divinity of anyone I know. And I'm going to leave you now with something where you'll always be able to remember her birthday. And if you can't remember her birthday and how old she is, you're going to have to go back to the first grade. Because Chris was born on 11/11/11.
Thank you. From its beginning in 1942 in that little odorous building over Pete's Bar to where we now sit in this beautiful building, the La Mesa Ward, formerly the College Ward, has come a long way, and the future looks great. Multitudes of memories are associated with this upward and onward march of God's plan in this part of his vineyard. Some sad memories, lots of happy memories, many glorious memories. Most people consider the past years their most valued treasure, their pearl of great price. Oh my, yes. If our friends from those days could only see us now. And now please stay seated for a short slide presentation.
Isn't that a beautiful couple? That's Hannah and Frank. And I can't tell you the year. I didn't get all the information. Now, many of these pictures we're just going to go through quickly. You will recognize some of the people, and we'll have to help you recognize some. The one there in the graduation cap and gown, you want to stand up and tell us who you are? Wilda Fowles, are you here? The one sitting on the floor on the right, that's Mildred Bergeson with the long braids. The top left standing without a costume on, that's Sister Kathleen Lund. And the fourth one to the right standing up there is Sister Irene Oliver. Those are the four that I recognize that are still in the area. Kathleen, again, tell us, what is this? When Pharaoh's daughters meet? Shakespeare's Ladies Meet. This is the Ward Chapel when we had our dedication. The builders of the chapel, and when they broke ground down there at the bottom, former branch presidents and former bishops. The bishopric. This was at the dedication. That's LeGrand Richards standing in the middle. Wes Evans to the left, and Bishop Price. I forgot your first name. I'm sorry, Dave. And this is us. This is we. We are they. This was at the dedication. Maybe you can recognize some of those faces. This is the High Council genealogy class. Many of those faces you'll recognize. Wes and Chris Evans. Up in the very top left, I believe you can see some of the names. I can't read from here. The Petersons are in this picture. The Prices, Birminghams. Alex Lapinko up in the right corner. Brother Bates, or Bishop Bates, in the center. This is La Mesa's second ward, right after the wards were divided. We all know Sister Carol Logan Bench. Isn't that wonderful? And Marion Marriott in the back left. This is Sister Cole and Hannah Borneman and Sister Breitenstein, and standing up on the right is Ellie Cook. It's in the old building. Nita Weaver, modeling her home-sewn wonders. Isn't that beautiful? And Mildred Bergeson. This is another Kathleen presentation, I think, from La Mesa Second Ward. Mildred and Arnold on the left. And I don't recognize the sisters on the right. Ida Bate, you can see Ida. Is that her? Ida, is that you with the flower in your hair? She says it looks like it, but she's not going to admit it. Arlene Hallett, right there in the middle. Sister Bishop, just to the left of her. Sister Rose to the right. And the bottom right, tell me your name. Borg, Lorraine Borg. Mm-hmm. Bottom left, is that Mildred Bergeson? And Bishop and Sister Bates, who've now moved away. Bishop Peterson, Bishop Bench on the right, J. Smith Jacob, and Cernock, is that right, on the left? Aren't these handsome fellas? Brother Rose on the left, in the middle is Danes, and on the right is, tell me, Jesperson? Cheryl's husband, what's his name? Lyle. Johansson, thank you. Okay, this is the three amigos in their group. And here's some more of them. Don't they look like they're having fun? And there's the fearless leader.
Gene Lund? Yes, at the top of Mount Whitney. Not very many of us have been up there, have we? Oh, you can't see this very well. Can you tell who that is? Yeah, isn't that cute? Wouldn't you die to have him in your house? He's so cute. Tell me who that is. Bill Cohagen. Who are these guys? One of the Madsen boys? Brandy? Kent. I have someone here helping me. Kent Madsen. Icy cold water. I'm glad you gave me the ones with the bathing suits on. And here are the three amigos sitting around the campfire. And here's another picture of them. Isn't that cute? Yeah. This is the last meeting we had at the Lemon Avenue building. And the picture out front, we also have one here on the table if you want to take a closer look. But I thought this was such a neat picture. Then we moved to the Aztec building. And remember when we had these family pictures taken? I did take pictures of each page. I should say Brother Bishop Bench did. But because of time, I'm just going to show you the main people. And if you'd like to see the rest of the pictures, there's the booklet here. Yeah, check out that suit. You may recognize some of those faces. Brother Cernock, Brother Blute, Brother Greiner, Brother Farnsworth, and I don't know the one on the left. Morris? Moyes. Ben Pickles? Boy, does he look young. Terry Judd on the left, and on the right is that brother, help me, Garrett. Julie Collins. Everett Cheney on the right. Wayne DeBate, top left, and Sister Cernock on the bottom left. Seeley. John Seeley on the right. There's another good jacket. Bracken, Johnson, and Thurl. Aren't they pretty? Pat LaPinko, Ida DeBate, Marion Marriott, and Nita Weaver. You recognize these boys? Eric Chambers in the far back, and John Farnsworth in the middle, and Eric Marriott in the front. You don't know who that is. And my Blazer boys. This was a play that was put on by Kathleen Lund, also written by Kathleen Lund, and it has been published. Professional we have here. You might get her signature afterwards. Tell me the name of this again. Something's Gotta Give? Something's Gotta Go. Mark Marriott, Ed Smith, Judd. I don't know the tall one with the mustache. Scott Campbell. In the middle is Diane Judd, and the right is Terry Judd. Roger, excuse me. Do you recognize these children? Aren't they beautiful? They're all married and have babies. The left one is a Wood. What's her first name? Cindy Wood, and a DeBate, David, Madsen, and Bench, Lori. This is Marion's Laurel class, and I think all of these are married? No, Jackie isn't married. All the rest are married and have children. Do you recognize all of those? And our scout leaders, our fearless scout leaders. The left is Lepenko, and the middle is John Hewish, and on the right is Ron Cole. John Hewish is here. Thank you for coming, John. And those are ink splotches. They did wash their face, and those shirts were clean. In the front is Larson, and then Judd. That's Susan Judd, and the far one is Linda Millward. Probably watching the youth or something. Bishop Rose, Bishop Bergeson and Mildred. Isn't that a neat picture? These are recent pictures that the Activities Committee had put together, and so we're going to flash through them really fast. People working in the ward, doing their jobs, keeping the ward going. Some of our favorite people. In the library. At the piano. Neat picture. We'll have to send that one to Arlene. Not a good-looking guy. This must be the high priest quorum. Everybody's awake. When the door opened, it woke them up. That's a good picture. Marva's marrying off John tonight, so that's why she's not here. That's a nice one. That's a nice picture. We're going to have to hand these out to some of these people. I bet they would like to have them. Young women. And their extended family getting bigger and bigger. These are some activities that we've had in the ward. Our favorite yearly beach party. And the master himself, look at that. And their Halloween carnival. Guess who that is? If you don't recognize him, that's my beloved. Now he can't go home. Ward campouts. Service project. This is at Harry Griffith Park. You noticed I slurred the end. I don't know if it's Harry Griffin or Harry Griffith. That's a good picture. I love this picture. This was when Bishop Bench was the bishop, and Marion's there visiting with the youth. She was teaching them her about life. I overheard that conversation, and I just was really touched. She was talking about plants and how things grow and how wonderful and beautiful the world is. And I thought, what a nice way to have the young children and the women in the world in the ward get together. This is 4 generations. Isn't that neat? It was a Relief Society activity, and all 4 generations were here. This is the Mount Helix activity. On the top, I think it's Donna Pickles and Sharon Chambers. And on the bottom is Veston, President Chambers, and I can't tell who that head is. Blonde head. Karen was working up there. It might have been Karen. Frank and Nellie Paget's on the bottom. I don't know who's bending over there. President Chambers and Veston. And that's the last picture. Ta-da!
Appreciate all who have helped, and we look forward to 50 more years. And we'll look forward to seeing those of us who are still here to celebrate and get together enjoying that occasion. I'll now offer the benediction.